On my Kindle constantly flashed picture of a young girl in recommended list. I had least expectation from this book and kept postponing, thinking what could a 13-year-old's diary provide for an adult like me. Last June, an article in TOI Why You Should Read Annefrank's Diary roused my curiosity to pick it up. It was a lockdown back then, and when I started this book, I knew how it would end. The book. While reading it, I was overwhelmed like Anne predicted. Who would ever think that so much went on in the soul of a young girl? Hello everyone. Welcome back to BooksDotCom with me, Subhashini. Hope you're enjoying my reviews and summaries both on podcast and YouTube. Paper has more patience than people. Every time I read these words and opened those pages, I was transported to the Secret Annex where Anne sat in a corner writing a diary. Yes, today's book is The Diary of a Young Girl. From the very beginning, I found Anne's writing style engaging. This could be attributed to the fact that it's a diary, and diary entries are usually quite captivating and genuine, and I'm sure you would agree with this. Anne mustn't have realized that her teenage ramblings would become a treasure house of thoughts that moved generations. And Anne doesn't hold back when confiding her feelings, experiences, and expectations in her kitty. I've heard somewhere that only those write diaries who believe and know that they are right. Frankly speaking, she wrote a few things that did occur to my mind while I was a teen, but never dared to pen it. She captured her adolescent musings and frailties beyond criticism. The accuracy with which she portrays her relationship with peers, her family, matters of war, her belief and philosophy is fascinating. Many of us share commonalities with this compelling, spirited young lady, whom, like us, is interested in celebrities, talks about relationship with her mom, and about overthinking minds. Her desire to be accepted and being unjudged is a sentiment I think we all echo. If you don't know Anne, she is a Jewish girl who, along with her father, who she calls Pim, mother, and elder sister Margot, moves into hiding when Margot receives a call-up notice from SS. I think it's some kind of short form for the German Defense Corps. Fearing persecution, another family of three, the Van Dans and an old dentist, Dussel, joins them later. It's here where Anne spends 2 years and begins to write her diary. She reveals the peculiarities and personalities of the people who live with her in the annex. Her tender feelings of love, her rebellion of parental domination, and her irritation on suppressing opinions. For a 13-year-old girl, Anne is so articulate. Her outlook for life astonished me. She's a soul beyond her years, filled with earnings, desire to learn, travel, and become a writer. Through her words, I see her as the face of millions of Jews who died in concentration camps during World War II. From the one chirping around her house, joking around with her friends, looking at boys with the corner of her eyes, being mischievous and witty in front of her loving teachers, she steps forward gradually each day to become an independent youngster as the book progresses. Anne weaves in her diary typical teenage experiences like hormones, puberty, crushes, arguments, misunderstandings with her mom, and family tensions, along with the horror of having to be hidden. Black market ration, low money, and scarcity of food are also mentioned. But no teenager I know is as clear about their goals as Anne, because she writes, I know what I want. I have a goal. I have opinions, a religion and love. If only I can be myself, I'll be satisfied. This multifaceted girl is agonized terribly in confinement without the escape of nature, with too many restrictions and no friends to share topsy-turvy swings of her moods, with just a radio to tune in news and a single window. I recognized a lot of myself in Anne's anxiety and depression at being cooped up like a bird in a cage, especially in the middle of the lockdown. I could feel the monotony, found my own thoughts echoed in her words when she says, I'm longing, really longing, for everything. Conversation, freedom, friends, being alone. I long to cry. I definitely needed to take breaks while reading because sometimes it became too real. No matter how broad or limited our understanding of the world history is, the general assumptions would be like it was a wartime and they were in hiding. They must have been miserable all the time. Could anyone find anything good in such a life? But I was surprised to find keen sense of hope, bits of kindness and even humor in some most unexpected places. Her friendship with Peter, her fondness for literature, history and mythology are mere drops in the ocean of what she describes. Even though Anne had to live in a constant fear of being found by the Gestapo and constant gunfire surrounding the building, she writes about the future, what will happen after the war, when she can attend the school again, and her dreams of being a writer. That's why I call her a breather of hope. Difficult conditions make one mature and responsible, but in her case, she is forced to mature before her time. In her own words, when I think back to my life in 1942, it all seems unreal. The Annefrank was different from the one who has grown wise within these walls. And throughout the book, she has been progressive, recognizing her strength and weakness. Especially these lines. I've made up my mind to lead a different life from other girls and not to become an ordinary housewife later on. I need to have something besides a husband and children to devote myself to. This makes me see her as a representative of independent women of this era. While teens prefer dresses and makeup more than anything else these days, for Anne, memories meant more than dresses. Generations are losing their innocence, but in different ways. Imagine a teenager practicing gratitude in the air of despondency. I'm blessed with many things, happiness, a cheerful disposition, and strength. This is incredibly an impressive feat. I'm dumbfounded how she's able to see beauty around her and be thankful for what she still had. We still love life. We haven't yet forgotten the voice of nature and we keep hoping for everything. Does this resonate our current situation? But how cruel it is that the hopes and dreams of millions get destroyed merely because of the thoughtless actions of a few. I abandoned the book in the middle as I didn't want to encounter tragedy in a book too, as the life in this pandemic wasn't less than one. But finally completed it during the 2021 lockdown. This is one of those books where a silence descends on finishing. This is not a novel written for recreational reasons. It's a personal record where a heart is on display, providing an honest insight of hardships that people underwent during Holocaust. Through her diary, Anne has given her best view of the worst world she lived in. All being said, there is nothing to review the book, but accept it as a written account of the vices of the war. I don't want to have lived in vain like most people. I want to be useful or bring enjoyment to all people, even those I have never met. I want to go on living even after my death. True, her words have power. They have the power to change and outlive human lives. They have the power to make her life worth remembering even while she thought she was doing nothing at all. Thanks to Anne's father, Otto Frank, the sole member to survive the Holocaust, who decided to publish her diary and she now lives on. If you want to see her come alive, then read The Diary of a Young Girl. I would recommend this book to current age teenagers because the young are lonelier than the old and they are yet to learn perseverance and gratitude. Hope you liked my review. Follow Books.com for more positive and captivating book reviews. Please do share your thoughts and comments about this book with me on my YouTube channel or write to me at books.com by Subhashini@gmail.com. You can follow our Instagram page for more updates. Thank you for staying tuned till the end. See you in the next episode of Books.com. Till then, sayonara.